Welcome to the 49th episode of the infamous Todd Show. I'm the infamous Todd, and while I was trying to think of the content of what I wanted to do for the first show of season 3, I became more and more confused, and as I kept practicing what I was going to say to you, the more I got further from the original idea. Finding direction is not my strength. I'm more like one of those throw spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks kind of people. If nothing sticks, then I know I need to cook my idea a little bit longer. This show was such a beast to create on season 1 and season 2 with onset dementia. I am hoping season 3 brings me closer to the premise I first imagined when I created the first show 48 episodes ago. I created this program to challenge my brain. I wanted to use this episode to explain my mission for future episodes and hope you'll continue to follow the show wherever you listen to this popular podcast. For those of you that are hearing impaired, needing closed captioning, I will film each episode and place them on YouTube so my children and grandchildren will have a video history period of my life, and I'll make sure that it includes closed captioning. Don't worry, hardly anyone accesses the show through YouTube. I wish they did, but they don't. I can't, for some reason, I can't get the people that listen to this on the podcast to subscribe to the channel, but that's another story. I guess it kind of feeds into the narrative of today's show. I think what it is, it's too easy nowadays to verbally ask your smart device to simply play the podcast, The Infamous Todd Show. Personally, I giggled when I first asked Alexa or my Google to play the podcast, The Infamous Todd Show, when I was in the shower. There's just something bizarre about listening to my own voice echoing through the steam while I was trying to wash the shampoo out of my gray hair. But today I want to talk about disappointing the people you admire. When I first started writing on social media about the harm that I did to others, the reason people call me the infamous Todd, my eldest daughter pleaded for me to stop. She asked me, "Dad, why do you keep talking about the bad stuff in your past?" I explained to Cheryl, when I changed my life to become a better person, I left some of my friends still struggling with many of the same complications that held me down. These broken friends were like me, surrounded by people telling them they would never be a good person in life. Beyond redemption, a lost cause. These abandoned friends are considered the outcasts of society. Many of them failed at changing their behavior and now felt attempting to change is worthless. They accepted their label of having no value, never to change, best left alone, pushed away by the people they loved the most for the protection of both the family and their friends. I told my daughter I needed to show those friends that I had not left them. Unlike their family and friends, I understood their struggles. I understood the pain of knowing I was disappointing every person that loved and respected me. Don't get me wrong. Don't confuse famous with infamous. I did not gain attention in my community for the adorable things I was doing, but often for the wild bad boy behavior reflected in my nickname. My path was corrupt. I began my journey through life with the best intentions, surrounded by the most spectacular people. But somewhere on that journey, I kept walking off this well-worn path taken by so many successful people. I didn't venture to illegal activity because of circumstances of poverty, social decline, or environment. I came from a middle-class American family living in a middle-class Midwestern small town. I had no excuse for my actions. I purposely redirected my life to chase ideas that sounded fun and exciting. I am white, educated, fairly handsome as a young man, got the best breaks in life when it came to my career, but that wasn't good enough for me. Soon the people I loved the most around me noticed I was missing, off doing some confusing project, causing trouble for the neighborhood. Sadly, a few of those friends followed me down that black rabbit hole, hoping to find their own version of fun that I seemed to be having in life. My friends complimented me on my ingenuity. The new friends telling me I was clever, too smart to be caught by the law. I reminded those new friends jails are filled with people that believe they were smarter than the law. I watched too many of those friends fail. I watched many of them tear their lives apart, struggling with addiction, prison time, destroying their families, divorces, and eventually, too many of them killing themselves one by one. I'm not talking about killing in a superficial way. I'm talking about the kind of death that no longer has them alive, as in dead. I thought, yes, but this isn't me. I am better at breaking rules. Was I? Sure, I never went to prison or served time, but you know what? I went back to that path, to the place I ventured away from, back to where I left those loved ones, but few remained. I stood there in the dirt alone. No longer could I find my grandparents. No longer could I find many of my friends. Several of the family members were no longer on the path because when I was gone, they too had died. They died knowing I was less of the person they wanted me to be in life. They died believing their love for me was not enough to fill my happiness. They died with an ugly mark in their heart and in their soul when they thought of me. I won't say they thought I let them down. I believe in their mind I'd let myself down. I had squandered the opportunities life gifted me. No longer could I find my best friends on the old path. No longer could I find most of my family members on the old path because they were tired of my crap. They moved on with their lives so far from their own journey that even the shadows of them vanished in the bright sun of my new resolve. I had to start over from scratch. Actually, that's a lie. I was too far down the hole with so many rocks on my shoulders that first I needed to fill in the mental pit before worrying about building upon it. Just saying to my loved ones I was going to change did not bring these people back into my life. Sure, some of them gave me yet another chance, but not really the level of forgiveness. If anything, hopefulness. It was not the first or the 40th time these people had given me an opportunity to succeed. My unsuccessful sorries and requests for another chance littered the path of life over decades of abuse. For every tale they had of me attempting to reclaim my life, there was another matching story of me going back on my word to chase down another rainbow. To believe if God wanted me to be so good, then why was I so great at being bad? I honestly rarely considered the consequences of my actions. I judged my behavior through white privilege, rarely in trouble with the law. And when they caught me from time to time, able to walk away without penalties and punishment, I was glib of my betrayal of social norms. I concentrated so much of my energy on thinking of clever ways to skirt the law to entertain myself that I didn't notice that the people I loved the most were no longer in my life. Instead of entertaining parents, grandparents, close friends, classmates, siblings, nieces, nephews, aunts, and uncles, I now replace them with a circle of new friends, more engaged in the illegal activities around me. These new friends thought what I did was cute. They were my fans. They stuck around to be entertained. By the time I had a chance to look at my family, one way or the other, they were gone. By the time I looked at my children, they were adults. I had become the scar in their brain, the tear in their heart, the subconscious drag on them becoming the best person they could have become in life. Somewhere in them would always be this terrible feeling of the person I was in their life. By now, my eldest daughter, my oldest child, Cheryl, had her own child. I was there at Trinity's birth, watching her small finger wrap around the knuckle of my thumb. My heart sank. It seemed like just yesterday, Cheryl and her youngest sister Jules were grabbing my finger in such a manner at their birth. What have I done? What could I do? Where do I start? It's easy to overwhelm yourself with justified guilt, but guilt does not fix relationships. A person can feel suffocating guilt and still destroy people around them and their own lives. Too often, guilt can hold a person down, like an anchor. I needed to move past this point and luckily had an eldest daughter offering me such forgiveness. I knew I could not erase the events from her life, or should I say the absence of events, since I was an absentee father. And when I was in her life, I did nothing to hide my illegal activities. I decided on the day of my first grandchild's birth that my path was simple. I was overthinking my journey. I needed to let go of the rocks on my shoulder, for I was too weak to carry them. I let those rocks be the first stones to fill that void, to use those rocks to fill the hole of my past, to let go of my own guilt, my self-hatred, asinine thoughts, illicit accomplishments, abusive moments of my history, to use those rocks as the foundation of what I wanted to create for my life. I was not going to erase my past, but I knew I could create a future despite my prior transgressions. I realized that a person doesn't have to have a terrible past to become kind, to become loving, to care, to inspire, to reach out and help those around them struggling with their own demons. This opportunity is afforded to all of us. I did not need to talk about being a better person, but to behave as one. I reached out during my struggle and volunteered at local charities. I learned to calm down, to look around, to ask for a place in the lives of people I betrayed. They knew I would fail. I did not challenge their disbelief in me. For those are only words. For those that knew me the best understood words were my craft. I doubled down on showing them in deeds the person they once thought I could be, the person I wanted to be in life. I did not volunteer to prove them I was a better person. I did not volunteer to show the community and myself that I was a good person. I did not volunteer using some godly claim. I volunteered because it made me feel incredibly happy. Volunteering gave me instant gratification. I left each charity activity feeling better about myself, which in turn motivated me to become involved in another one, and another one, and another one. At every step, there was justified doubt from people around me. Their skepticism did not vanish from the minds of people around me the first month. It did not vanish 6 months later. For some, they still fought my intent years later, and here it is, a decade has passed, and many of them refuse to believe a person can change. I often wonder how many people think, if you don't believe I can change, then what is the purpose for me to change? Believe me, I've lost siblings, tearing me from their children's lives. I have a youngest daughter so removed from my world that the only thread I have of Jules is knowing that she had a wonderful man that respectfully adopted her as a child to become the father she deserved in life. No time can heal some wounds, but this cannot be the reason a person corrects their life. If you are repairing your life to get other people to love you again, then you're repairing your life for the wrong reasons. You have to learn to live a better life because it's the right thing to do. You don't live a good life because you claim God wants you to be a good person. You do not live a good life because of your family, because of your children, because of your wife or your husband, or because of your friends, or because you think your dog will love you more in the morning. You live your life with good intentions because this is how you want to live your life. The only way you want to live your life. The only way that you can picture yourself living your life. It is when you make this commitment to yourself that you'll notice life changing in you. If you lead with your heart, your life will follow. Stop having other people validate your existence. Stop setting yourself up for failure. Just because nobody sent you mail doesn't mean you're unloved. If someone doesn't like your social media post, does that mean you are unworthy? Do you know how many times I have asked my pets to come to me and they've walked away? I doubt my pets hate me. I don't think my pets think less of me. Believe me, I flip out when people do not acknowledge me online. Sometimes, often later, I find out they were paying attention to me, but because they did not interact with me, my insecurities automatically brought my mind to a terrible place. A thought that was not only unjustified, but unfair to those people around me. Humans are social by design. Even the meanest person on earth will not succeed long if left isolated. Our world is changing too fast. It's changing too fast for our mental stability. Society adjusted to believing we were all interconnected by the advent of mail service. I used to freak out when I would go to the mailbox and there was no personal mail for me. Society readjusted again with the telephone. So now, not only did we sit around waiting for our mailbox to personally send us stuff, but now we wanted our telephone to take care of our needs. And we would sit around waiting for calls that often didn't come. But you know what? Society adjusted again. And now we had emails. So now we're sitting around waiting for our mailbox to come in. We're waiting for the calls to come in. Now we're waiting for the emails to come in, demanding a prompt response. Society adjusted again. And now we have social media and text messaging. So now we're waiting for our mail to address us in a personal manner. We want our telephone to ring in a personal manner. We want our social media to validate that we have some existence in life. We're waiting for people to text message us. The insecurities of waiting a week for people to contact us are long gone. Well, unless they're serving time. Everyone is demanding instant acknowledgement, not ASAP. That means as soon as possible, not weekly, not daily, not in an hour or two when you get home, not when you return my call, not when you notice their comments or posts, but now we expect on the spot replies. God forbid somebody's on the toilet, in the movies, eating dinner, not online, or social media decided not to list their post in someone else's feed. We've become so insecure in ourselves. If you need social interaction every single moment of the day, adopt a pet from the shelter. They don't call these pets rescue pets because you rescued them. For those people that adopt strays will tell you the pet often is a person rescuing you. I promise the animals will give you sincere gratitude. If that doesn't work, try volunteering in your community, or better yet, do both. Your heart is big enough to hold such love. I promise. I promise. It will give you more. It will give you more than you're ever able to give them. If you don't believe me, ask anyone that volunteers on a regular basis. Become become the best person you can become in life by reaching out to other people struggling. Help them to become the best person they can become in life. Often the grass is greener on the other side of the fence because it's healthy weeds. Clear the weeds on the path in your life. So many, as so many people have done for you. If you are one of those people that believe nobody has done anything for you, then do it anyways. But there must be somebody in your life that you once loved enough that you hope people help them. Help people find their way. Remember that some will fail. That's the condition of humans. We fail. If you are religious, then help them find God. If you don't have, you know what, you don't have to believe in God to help people. Help people locate a shelter, find counseling, friendship, clothing, protection, or even food. They're begging for volunteers in your neighborhood right now. And if you're one of those people that go around saying, well, you know what? Why are we taking care of all these other countries before we take care of our own people? If you're one of those people, I'm asking you today, what are you doing to take care of your own people? What are you doing in your community? What are you doing to reach out to people that are struggling around you? I may never be able to have a relationship with my youngest daughter, Jules, but I want to believe somewhere out there she sees a better man in me. And if she doesn't, I have to accept her decision, for I created that anger inside Jules. Not everybody in my life likes me. Lots of people can barely tolerate me. I have to learn to focus on the people that believe in me. I need to learn not to focus on the negative commentary of people trying to define my life. For every moment I waste on people that do not believe in me, I am stealing. I am stealing from the people that do believe in me. I want you to know you make a difference in my life. And hopefully I will earn a place of difference in your life. So until next Thursday at noon, I ask you to subscribe to my channel using whatever device you use to listen to the infamous Todd Show. And next week, I'll post a new episode at 3 p.m. on Thursday, Eastern Standard Time. In the meantime, make it a great day. Make it a great day by helping other people have a great day. Thank you. Bye.